Greetings. Welcome back to another show. Today is Galactic Arkana number 18, and this one is actually pretty complex. Yeah, there's a lot of maths involved in Galactic Arkana number 18. Before I start, I would like to direct you to infinity-codes.net, and if you go to that website, at the top there's different sections, and there's a section called Cosmic Formulas. Now if you click on Cosmic Formulas and you scroll down, you'll find the codes that I went back to myself to essentially find older pieces of work that I was already working on many years ago to help me now in expressing what I'm sharing now, which is a fascinating experience to go back to old pages from many years ago, and there they are. Like, a lot of work there is now making even more sense now. So there's a lot of numbers involved. A lot of numbers. But hopefully today I'll be able to share various tools that I've created to try and express what these lunar patterns, at least some of them. We've already talked about some of them already. And I'll cover that as well. So we've reached day 50, and this is card 37. It's this one. Alchemy 11. Saros sequence. 18 years plus 11 days. The records of this natural cycle take us back to ancient Mesopotamia and the Chaldean timekeepers. Knowledge of this cycle requires precise lengths of several of the moon cycles. Go to Lunar 5, which is back in the lunar section. Within it are 19 subcycles called an eclipse year, which lasts 346.62 days. This number can also be found by multiplying 18.618 by 18.618. The fullness and depth of the Saros cycle can be found by relating to the next two cards, as a 391 plus a 372 plus a 391 equals 64 times the Saros cycle, which is now linking back to the previous Galactic Arkana in this particular sequence, which was Galactic Arkana number 16, which we've covered already, which is that geometry here and the codes that go with it. So, in the previous episodes, we have been talking about who drives the climate. Is it entirely all human-caused, or are there like larger factors involved that have been going on for thousands and thousands of years? And I've spoken about this whole concept of warming and cooling cycles. And just the other day, this is Psirus, the whale. Psirus the whale came over and was asking me some questions. So, what was your... So, Psirus was wondering about all the pollution, and wondered, so if nature rules, does that mean humans have no effect? Yeah. So that was the question. And does that mean we can just pollute all we want? Because if nature rules, then, you know, we're not in charge. No. The codes speak of a cooling cycle, therefore actually it's even more reason not to pollute. Save power. Yeah, I would wish for a cleaner, warmer environment just as much as I would wish for a cleaner, cooler environment. Now, these larger cycles, these larger cosmic cycles, natural cycles on a cosmic level, have been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So if anything, it's another message from nature at this particular time in our evolutionary growth to perhaps take a step back as a species and maybe think long and hard about exactly how we're functioning as a species in relation to nature. Yeah. All the factors have to be included. Yep. Psirus would just like to thank you for giving your attention to this matter, because Psirus actually cares very much. Okay? See this, Psirus? Excellent. So, how are we going to express all of these vast cycles in numbers in relation to the moon in such a way as we can understand it quickly? Well, it's a lot of information to cover in like 30 minutes. You know, people have written entire books about just eclipses. I shared earlier today this picture about Columbus. Yeah, using the knowledge of the eclipses to trick the indigenous people. Right. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm not Christopher Columbus. You know, this is Cyrus. I'm not going to keep the codes to myself. I'm going to share them. Yeah, because this is open source now. Yeah, that's what liberating the infinity codes means. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Well, that's what it means. You know, during these presentations, I'm not sure if you're aware of this handy trick for if you're reading books online or you find information online and you just want to save the image. Well, you can pause the video, and if you follow these instructions, yeah, you're looking for the print screen button, which takes a picture of the screen, and then there's free programs usually on computers like Paint. And if you open up Paint, and then you can paste the image in there and save it. Okay? So I just thought I'd share that, because this is open source. Yeah. Liberation of the infinity codes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the ancestors. So, Galactic Arkana, number 18, which is the moon. And the Saros cycle is 18 years and 11 days. Right, well today we've got another friend returning to help us understand what's going on. Last time, this is the present we got an egg. Yeah. So what's going to happen today then? Flap, 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 flap. What have we got there? Wow. Thanks, Archimedes. Wow. Is this going to help us understand? Yeah, it's going to help us understand. Wow, thank you so much. Right, what are these then? Wow, look at these. Wow, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Yeah, and in Lunar 5, yeah, there's 5 lunar cycles. I wonder if there's a connection between these and the lunar cycles. Right, let's have a look at them. The first one is an eye. And on the back of that, it says the visible moon, 29.53, called by science the synodic cycle. Well, that's clever. So Archimedes, he's used an eye to symbolize that one. Okay, next one is sort of egg-shaped with a line going through it. And this one's called the lunar egg, 27.55, called by science anomalistic. Okay. And the next one is a star. Okay. And on the back of that one it says orbit relative to stars, 27.32166, called by science sidereal. Okay. And the next one, that's the symbol of the Earth, circle with a cross. Okay. And that one says orbit relative to Earth, 27.32158, called by science a tropical cycle. And then the last one is a wave with some dotted lines connecting together. Okay. And this one, relative to nodes. Yeah, so relation to the nodes. 27.21222. Called by science draconic. Ooh, draconic. That sounds a bit gnarly, doesn't it? Fascinating, these terms that come up for them. So hopefully these symbols and numbers will help to explain that these different lunar cycles relate to different phenomena that we relate to on the Earth. So the first one relates to us seeing the moon, full moon, new moon. Okay? The next one relates to how big the moon is, because it's the egg, how far away it is or how close. Which is what, supermoon, stuff like that. The next one is the orbit relates to the stars. So say the moon is aligned to a star, how long before it aligns to the star again? All these numbers are averages. Yeah. This is an average, and these are fluctuations. Now, everything in nature has those. Yeah, that's why I can do my maths, because it's a combination of the geometric and the organic. Yeah. The next one is the symbol of the Earth, and so that's the relationship of the moon with the Earth. So when the moon's orbiting the Earth, relation to a point on the Earth. And the final one, the draconic one, which is the wavy line, is related to the nodes. And the nodes is the plane of the solar system. Yeah. The moon isn't just always on the same plane. It rises and falls, and rises and falls. Yeah, while we're, spirals within spirals and spirals. So these points, when the moon rises, ascends and descends, these points track the so-called draconic cycle of the moon. Yeah. It's really nodical cycle. So that's the 5. Going into more detail in relation to Lunar 5, we're now bringing the magic of the Lunar 5 now into this one, because it's the Galactic Arkana number 18. This is the moon. So earlier on I said, to check out cosmic formulas, bottom of the page. So I used that as my reference today to create this piece of work to share with you the magic of all these lunar cycles, because each of these different greater lunar cycles, which I'm about to share, all have a unique practical use and function in regards to understanding the reality that we live in. Okay. If you'd like to practice your screenshot, this would be an excellent point. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? Wow, that's a lot of maths on there. Wow, okay. I'll post this image online as well. All these graphics will be in my book. Yeah. So what can we see on here? Well, here at the top, you can see those 5 lunar cycles. There's the eye and the egg, the star and the earth and the wave. Okay? So this is called lunar patterns. Right? And then over here, you've got these extra cosmic constants, the diamond matrix here, and a day. And then look at all these signs. Chaldean, the Cocoon, Flower of Life, 19-year cycle, the Lunar Standstill and the Lunar Precession, the Saros cycle, and 2 times the tides. Wow. Okay. Right, so we have actually covered these things already. So this one at the bottom here, that is Galactic Arkana number 9 times 2. Because here's the 8.864. Multiply that by 2, you get this number of years. And during that period, there's a whole number of these 3 cycles. And that's what this graphic does. Yeah, it shows you when over roughly 18 to 19 years, the 5 lunar cycles, the different combinations of phenomena, whether it's these 2, or these 2, or combinations thereof, usually, on the top line there's 2, the Cocoon relates directly to Lunar 5. Flower of Life, 19-year cycle, there's 4. The Lunar Standstill and Lunar Precession is something that I covered in the first series. Go to the day 18, which is the moon, on the Ice Cold Wizard Chronicles. And the Saros, see the thing about the Saros cycle is it's the one which has pretty much all 5 as whole numbers. And that's today, 18.03. So I've put ticks here because we've covered this lowest one because that's 2 times the tides. We've covered the Flower of Life because that was Galactic Arkana 19. And the Cocoon magic was covered in Lunar 5. So we have actually already been learning this list, but there's several more on here. Yeah. And that's yeah, advanced time science is what we're talking about. It's a truly fascinating puzzle to work out. I was very interested to note today, as I was writing this out, that the page online, where I've had my Oracle of Ra page online, there's now 244 members. 244. Now, if you look here, the total number of full moons in a Katun is 244. There's actually like about a +5 day in connection with that. In terms of whole numbers, it's 244. I thought that was quite fascinating, actually, that today we reached 244. And that number, I wrote it down on this piece of paper today. Well, these are the sorts of things I find fascinating, being a numbers person. Just makes complete sense. So, that list has many different larger cycles, which are combinations of these different lunar cycles within them. And after certain periods of time, they all realign. So out of the whole list, the one which realigns the most is the Saros cycle. So it's not really surprising that this Saros cycle has such a large part to play in calculating eclipses, and it's now actually a time increment in relation to the codes at the end of my book, because 64 of the Saros cycles equals this period of time. Yeah. We're talking about cycles within cycles within cycles. Yeah. This is the maths that goes behind, nature. Yeah, absolutely. Nature's patterns. Yeah, exactly. The reality that we actually live in. I'm just going to show you that one again. It's a fascinating experience, but you could draw something out like this yourself, just using the data on that page on Infinity Codes. It's quite an interesting exercise. There's something special going on here in relation to these numbers. Yeah, I've missed my creative process. Yeah, I'm sharing with you my creative process. Yeah, I'm in the process of writing another book, trying to share all this information. By sharing it, I'm learning more how to share it. I'm going back to old bits of work and improving previous bits of work, which I can now understand more fully, now that I've understood more about what it was that my first book was actually talking about. How was I supposed to know it was going to connect up with the ice cores? I mean, of all the things for it to connect up with. But I can't go more into that right now, no, because that's the next couple of days. The more I explore the maths, the alchemical maths of these natural cycles, I'm given more codes as I go. Just yesterday and the day before, I've received new codes What does that combination give you? Just going to do it here on my calculator right now. Yeah, it's not that combination. What was my note saying? Oh yeah, that's it. It's not multiply. No. Yeah, that's it. It's great double checking things. So what you want to do is take this magical number, and then divide these numbers into this number. How many of these are there in this number, and how many of these are there in this number? Because that's another fractal code. This one has two shifting axes. One of them is about 60 years, close to 58, between 58 and 60 years. Now if you do this calculation, so you take this number and you divide this into it, and you take this number and you divide this into it, you get answers. Yeah. Interesting answers. In terms of, again, how does the larger fractal codes work? How is it that nature fluctuates? Yeah, the whole of nature that we live in, all these orders of magnitude, which there's no separation. No, that's like the atmosphere, which we're in. We're in the stage of the atmosphere. Does the atmosphere stop at borders? Right. Well, we actually live in a galaxy, and all of these codes up until the completion of the alchemy stage are in preparation for entering the galactic code stage. Because we do actually live in a galaxy. And to understand our place in the galaxy, we need to start at the basics and slowly understand all these different orders of magnitude. Yeah, so we can have the correct perspective. Yeah, the perspective. How many orders of magnitude are there? Yeah, this is the part that fractals, yes, this is the magic of fractals, which I think is missing from our planet. Yeah. Well, to me, true power is respecting nature and learning from nature, learning to work with nature. Okay? Yeah, a lot of the time what we get isn't power. No, it's glamour. That's what we get. We primarily get glamour. Now, I'm not interested in that. No, I'm interested in connecting with nature and all the orders of magnitude that exist. Yeah, because that's what the Infinity Codes is about. Fractal orders of magnitude. Just like this, these are different orders of magnitude in relation to the lunar patterns of how these 5 combinations give us various practical uses. Yeah. Each one of these has a practical use in understanding the reality that we live in. So hopefully this gives further understanding to why this is so important. Going back to the last Galactic Arcana, combinations of Saros cycles, you know, Yeah, don't let me hold you back. There's so much you can explore with this information. And the best way to learn it is to do the calculations, draw out the patterns, and see how they fit over different orders of magnitude. And have a look, see if you can find other codes. Maybe you'll find a code I haven't found. There's so many codes out there. Excellent. Okay. Quite a mathy one today. Yeah. Pretty complex. Take care. Blessed be.